That is so good. I love cereal. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, all-time favorite. I actually took a poll of all my Instagram followers to have them tell me what was their favorite cereal. Cinnamon Toast Crunch won by a landslide, although there was one psychopath that recommended grape nuts. That person should be looked into. There is a problem though. Since cereal is pretty much just like eating textured air, you never eat a, serving size of cereal. You eat a bowl of cereal. And I normally eat 2 bowls. A serving size of Cinnamon Toast Crunch is 1 cup. That's it. That's a serving size. And since I'm a normal human being, I don't measure my bowls of cereal by serving size, but just to humor you, let's figure this out. So there's 1 serving. Don't come all rushing out at once. There's 2. We still have a little bit of room left. I'm banking on about 2.5. Yeah. For 1 bowl, you're getting about 2.5 servings of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So for 5 servings of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, that gives me 1,100 calories, 20 grams of fat, 165 grams of carbohydrates and sugars, and 10 grams of protein. Holy shit. Just a second. Kind of shocked to realize just how many calories and grams of sugar I was taking in every morning just by eating cereal. But is that the whole story of how healthy or unhealthy the food we eat is? Is it just calories in versus calories out, or if it fits in my macros? Or is there another way to look at this? I'd say if we really want to know what's going on, we need to take a deeper dive into what happens to our body after we stick the food in our face hole.
Again, hormones are what's driving fuel partitioning. You're responsible for what you put in your mouth, but in many ways at that point, like, the hormones take over and decide where it's going.
Wow. So as you heard Peter Attia just explain, like, once you've eaten that food, your hands are off the steering wheel. Hormones drive just about everything in our body, and when it comes to food, insulin is that bus driver. So as you take in food, your stomach breaks that food down into glucose. Glucose then goes into the intestine and into your bloodstream, and that's what raises your blood sugar. As your blood sugar raises, your pancreas then secretes insulin, and insulin is going to help those cells uptake the glucose as energy, and this also decreases your blood sugar. Here's the key. The more sensitive to insulin you are, the less insulin you actually need to decrease blood sugar. But if you're insulin resistant, well, the more and more insulin you're going to need to do that process, and this can eventually lead to something like diabetes. It would seem to reason then, understanding what foods cause the biggest spikes in our blood sugar level could be hugely beneficial when trying to understand the correlation between the foods we eat and the impact it has on our body. Getting hot in here from all of that cereal, no lie. Now this is a glucometer, and this is how we measure our blood sugar. I'll show you how it works. So the glucometer consists of 2 parts, the pokey part and the test strip. Unfortunately, my kit did not have the test strips. So I've got a video of a medical practitioner poking the client, so that's one half of it. They poke the client to draw the blood, and then they're going to use that blood to fill up this test strip. You've got to make sure you fill it up all the way, and once you've got enough blood onto the test strip, you can get a reading off of the monitor. Well, I mean, that's not bad, right? Unless, of course, you have to stab yourself multiple times a day to get that data, and for a prolonged period of time. Oh, that would suck. That's the old way. this is the new way. This is a CGM, or continuous glucose monitor. And once applied, it will give you that oh so valuable information 24 hours a day. And best of all, no more poking yourself ever. First, I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually apply this thing, and then I'll show you how it all works. Applying your CGM is actually incredibly easy. I've got it set up kind of like in stages, 4 stages. Alcohol swab would be first, applicator, plunger, and then finally the thing that you cover it with so you can shower. First, what we need to do is locate the fattiest part of the back of your arm. Mine's about right there. This is the only place where the CGM is approved, by the way. I'm gonna take out my alcohol swab, and oh, there was 2 of them and I just opened them both. Oh well. And we're gonna, whew, that is a potent smell. And we're just gonna swab down the area. Next, we're gonna open up the applicator. All right, so there's the applicator. Second, we're gonna twist off, pull apart the plunger. Now we need to line up this divot with the line on the applicator. Pretty sure I've got that right. Yep. Now, on a hard surface, we're gonna push down, and that loads the applicator, right? So now we're just gonna find that fatty part of the back of our arm, push in, and that's it. It's all done. Super easy. Then we can take this, set this aside. You can see how there's a circle. I'm gonna line up that circle kind of on half of that arm. Stick it on there, and then remove the rest of this sticker. Ah! I need a 3rd set of hands. Excuse me while I go get my wife. All right, the wife helped. We got it all on there. So boom, that's done. That was super quick, no pain at all, so don't stress about that. Like, you don't even feel it go in. How great is that? Instead of having to poke yourself every day, you're done. Like I said, application was painless, and now you get all that super important data 24 hours a day. So I'm pulling up the app. Let's go ahead and take a moment to show you how to take a scan, and then just a quick overview of what the app has, all right? So here's my home screen. I'll just go ahead and post it up on the screen you're watching. And already you can see that this screen is broken down into 2 sections. You've got a 6-hour block of time where you can see all the peaks and valleys of your scans, your blood sugar levels. And if I run my finger over there, you can see how it fluctuates between those peaks and valleys of my blood sugar scores. Below that, you've also got a score, which is an average of 4 different measurements. That's your peak, your average, your adaptability, and variability. Below that, you can see some glucose graphs, sleep, etc. like that. I'm not gonna get too much in depth with that because I personally don't use it. If you would like to see something like that, if you want me to do like a bigger follow-up on like an in-depth app walkthrough, just let me know in the comments down below. Besides that, you've also got data, and if I click on data, that's gonna give me a look at every single scan that it takes throughout the day. So it's 7:43, I had a 98. 7:28, I had a 98. 7:13, I had a 98. Etc. So it looks like it takes data about every 15 minutes. All right, let's go into how to actually take a scan, because this is the best part. On the home button, if I just hit plus, it's gonna pull up a bunch of different things. Top left-hand corner, I've got a scan. So it's now telling me ready to scan. I'm just gonna hold up the top of my phone to the sensor. It gives me some haptic feedback on the phone that it measured it, and now I've got a new scan. And if I toggle my finger over at 920, I was at 108. One of the things I do want to share with you though is why this information is so useful, because it's while I'm asleep. I normally go to bed by like 9:30. At 12:03 a.m., I'm hitting 150 on my sugar level. And initially when I did this, it was quite startling. So I reached out to the nutritionist that I'm working with, and she started asking your basic questions like, what's your bedtime routine? When was your last meal? What did that meal consist of? And through going over those questions, we were able to tease out some of the reasons that this is happening and how to bring those down. And since then, I've been able to bring my sugar levels down. And what has that yielded me? A much better night's sleep. And I forgot to mention that the reason I went with NutriSense is that you're actually assigned a nutritionist, a dietitian, a doctor, an expert. And that's something I wanted because I'm not an expert in this. I needed some expert advice and making sense of what the numbers is. I've got a pretty good understanding, but not expert level understanding, and it's been awesome. Let's go back to this plus button. If I hit the plus, now you can see meal, activity note, measurement, and message. If I go into meals, this just lets me add a new meal. I can add a picture of that meal. I can put what kind of category it belongs to, meal times, put in the description, etc. Hit plus, and what that's going to do is just give me a pretty generic breakdown of the macronutrients. So if you want a closer look at your macro and micronutrient levels, this will help you out with that. If I go to the plus button and add activity, there's some activities that are going to spike your blood sugar, like anaerobic activities, things that are going to need to draw glucose or glycogen from the muscle, like sprinting. That's going to have a more dramatic effect on your blood sugar than something aerobic would be. Like if I just sat on a bike and at 70% pedaled for an hour, you're not going to see too much of a spike. I can also add measurements, and measurements is anywhere from blood glucose, blood ketones, to body fat percentage, to steps counted. Finally, I can get a hold of my nutritionist directly. So that's where I type in, send her a message. Freaking sweet. I don't want to spend too much time diving into the workouts, meals, etc. Just know that those are features to help you get even more data, trends, correlations between you and your blood glucose levels. But ultimately, the real benefit of using a CGM is now you get a behind the scenes look into your body with the food after you eat it. Now this brings us back to the cereal versus ice cream, like kind of the whole point of this video and the thumbnail. If you take a look at it calorically, the 2 bowls of cereal was just about the same as an entire pint of Ben & Jerry's, and yet nobody would ever suggest a pint of Ben & Jerry's to somebody for breakfast rather than cereal. But here's where things get interesting. If I just looked at it calorically, maybe they're swapping. If you're a person that says calories in versus calories out, you could just swap them across the board. However, the cereal spiked my blood sugar for 3 hours, and I really honestly kind of felt like shit the whole day. But the ice cream, I did not experience the crash, and it only spiked my blood sugar for an hour. For me personally, given how my body felt and seeing what NutriSense has shown me, I would eat the ice cream for breakfast before I would eat the cereal, given the numbers and just the effects it had on my body. Let's zoom in for a little bit of seriousness here. We need to get past looking at food as purely calories in versus calories out, or if it fits your macros. I think this is an incredibly myopic way of looking at things, and it ignores the hormonal factors that are driving physiological change. Well, that's it. That's a wrap on our introduction to continuous glucose monitors. If you like this video and you want to see other videos that are going to help you move, feel, and perform better, both mentally and physically, hit that like button. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button, because a startling number of you who visit my page and watch my videos regularly are not subscribed. What gives? Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.